Hello there.
Hello there. Did we just start?
Yep, we just started.
Okay, good. How long will it be until Eric joins
Uh, he,
us?
he says he's on the train, so it'll be it'll be quite a while, really.
Okay. So what should we dive into?
Well, where do we begin?
So what's our opinion? So what's our view of the not attack that happened supposedly a couple days ago?
You mean Javier Milei?
No, the
Oh,
did you hear about the thing with Canada and America where there's apparently a bomb spotted?
oh, I never heard of that one.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, I think they thought that a bomb came from Canada to America.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
it detonated. I think near the border, the Canadian border. My guess is, and what I think it is I think that this was probably deliberately from America, probably happened deliberately from America as a way to basically blame it on the Muslims, right? The, and that, and give them basically use it as a scapegoat to enact tougher regulation, restrictions on freedoms of American citizens, and give them an excuse to go into Israel.
Oh, so basically, it's the blame game as an excuse
So
to
basically,
enact on political power.
they're playing the Mossad in CIA 9/11 card.
Yeah,
Basically,
I thought so. That's unfortunate.
I've just noticed this, but you don't think that George, the Bush Jr. had daddy issues, right? Maybe
Uh,
he was trying to one up his dad. You don't
uh,
think that's the reason why they tried to enter Iraq? I think he wanted to take out Saddam Hussein, right? The guy, apart
yeah.
even his daddy couldn't take out.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Did
That's
you know
quite a
that Trump
stretch.
apparently ran for president in the early 2000s with the Reform
Oh
Party?
yeah, I've heard about that. How times change.
And supposedly he was actually thinking of running with Oprah Winfrey as his running
Oh,
mate. How funny would that be?
oh yes, that would be hilarious. Especially now, given what we know now. That is
Yeah, right.
interesting.
Apparently, a lot of. Did you hear about? Apparently, some of Biden's cabinet officials are pedophiles and were caught in imperial sting rings.
Oh yeah, good grief.
Hmm.
We just won't hear the end of it.
So when will we see Israel? When will Palestine win?
But yeah, how am I going to tell this to you?
You don't think they're going to win?
I mean, there will be a solution, but I don't think there'll be much benefit to
No,
Palestine.
I quite honestly do believe that we are going to end up having taken all their
Yeah.
migrants. And then Israel gets to take over all the land and act like a dictator, and then they get to basically kick them off all the land, and they'll make all the Muslims, the Arabs, loyal to. They'll make basically give the Arabs no fucking rights and let them live there. They'll put
Yeah.
up little tiny tents or put out little cities in there, and then they'll use the port of Gaza. Then they'll create a shipping port in Gaza, so they can use it to subvert the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
I don't think Israel are the good guys. I'm surprised so many conservatives actually like Israel.
I mean, as bad as
They
it
don't they
is,
they don't realize the fact that Israel's probably the people that they get the guy that blackmailed Epstein is the Mossad in Israel, the people that blackmailed it, that had the dirt on all the big guys. Epstein was an Israeli spy, an asset.
mm.
The
And of
connections to
course,
him in Israel are too freaking good. The Jewish businessmen and partners he had. The fact that Maxwell's father was worked for Israel and basically blew the lid on the fact that literally blew the lid on the fact that Russia but they helped give Israel and Russia nuclear Well, uranium to make nuclear weapons. The whole Maxwell family in general were on the side of Israel. Not to mention, if you think about it, this woman, this actress, right? She got fired for basically saying the fact that the Jews control most of the world, control Hollywood, control Hollywood. Is that necessarily a lie? Because Bob Iger, he's Jewish. Larry Fink, the guy that owns BlackRock, the CEO of BlackRock, right? He's Jewish. Ari Emanuel, the guy that is the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, which is Endeavor Group. He's Jewish. A lot of the big CEOs and Hollywood executives are Jewish. Some of the big actors are Jewish. Some of the people that run the banks are Jewish. The people in the fucking UN, most of them, the high up people, are Jewish. The people in the high up people in the Senate and Congress and the House are Jewish. To say that they don't rule the world is a question.
Yeah.
What else do you want to dive into?
Have you heard the
Do you feel like
results?
they're trying to ban?
What was that?
Do you feel like they would try and ban us?
I mean, at what point haven't we thought about that at any point?
The three cities. The city. The
Oh
city
yeah.
of finance. The city of religion. And the city of war. Finance. The bank. Or the finance. So the Vatican, the remains of the Roman Empire. Of the Roman Empire royal family. The Bank of England. And its assets. The remains, the basically what the royal family is now is a bank in DC. It's interesting to see what DC will turn to, but it's still in the game of war. DC, the capital of deceit
Yes.
and war. Hmm. You told me about something about the Freemasons, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've screen recorded in case that you know who took it down because I knew that it would be such a
the
hot
Free
topic for the higher ups.
Of course they would. The Freemasons, people of Freemasons, surprisingly, as you don't think the Freemasons have the Freemasons for has long been connected to the British monarchy. Long been connected.
I think that's size for every
Freemasons
monarchy.
connection. Freemasons might have the. You could make questions if the Freemasons were not created out from Scotland. There's so many Freemason things there. You could question it.
Uh-huh.
So which one do you think? So what's the most powerful thing out there?
Most powerful entity.
Do you think we should be focusing on the WEF, or do you think we should be focusing more on their backers?
I think it should be
Who's more
focusing
important?
on the backers because without the financial backing, they won't exist.
But
It's
you don't
money
know
what
who.
makes the world go round.
People focus on George Soros, but they don't talk about who's backing him. The Rothschild
Exactly.
family are backing him.
Because
You and
without
me
the
have both stated
backers,
it.
he wouldn't be
The
where he is
Rothschild
today.
family. Soros. People think that the Rothschild family went extinct. They haven't went extinct. They're still around. They're still alive. They are Rothschilds still alive. Lord, they're royal family in Britain. They've got titles in Germany. They've got the German Vaughan. Nobody talks about the fact that medicine, all these medicine, they make medicine. They give you medicine. They poop chemicals in your food, right? They create illnesses in your food, right? And then
Hmm.
they feed you the cure for said medicines. How fucked is that? They create diseases and then they feed you the cure and then they give you the cure. They fruit in with food and then they give you the cure for a
It's
price.
it's practically foolproof. You create the problem,
can't
and you
lie.
create a solution to that
I
problem.
love the pharmaceutical industry. I love it. How else can you get paid for making people ill? How else can you get paid for putting chemicals in people's food, and then a couple of years later blame it on some type of biotic and disease, and then a couple of years later you get to fucking make a shitload of money for
Yes,
paying people to being paid to freaking help save the vaccine that you created.
yes. You're getting
That's almost
paid.
as bad as me investing in the fucking defense industry.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's mad.
I profit off the guys in Ukraine, which quite honestly was created by America and Britain and Australia and NATO. People think, oh, Russia started it. No, they didn't. You're only looking at people. I hate the fact that people only look at look at it when it happened. They don't look up what happened before these events that happened. What happened years before? They think, oh, but just that. But if you only look out past 5 months or past the day it started, of course you're going to think fucking Russia's the bad guys. But if you look further back, you're going to realize, NATO really is the bad guys. There are no bad guys, good guys or bad guys. They're all playing the same coin, and we're all the thingy.
Yeah.
The truth is, elections don't matter. Doesn't matter who you vote for. And I can actively say they are actively trying to make Muslims out to be terrorists like 9/11. And America's succeeding with it. The propaganda that Mossad and the CIA and the military industrial complex and the state media have been able to do to make people feel like Muslims are terrorists when really Israel's the bad guys. How are people literally, when you see what they're doing on television, what they've done to these people, how the fuck can you think that Palestine is the bad guys? When you look at the videos, we'll look at everything that's happening compared to literally what Israel's doing. I don't care how you put it, bombing innocent people that have done nothing wrong. It makes you the bad guy. So what else is there?
Well, there is one story that's going all over, and no, I'm not talking about the one in Argentina. I'm talking about the one in the Netherlands. Have you heard
Oh,
about that?
that guy getting
Yeah,
elected.
that guy. You
I'm
know,
not
the
100% sure,
Dutch Trump.
not 100% sure I agree with him wanting to get rid of mosques.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a stretch, but I can understand that he wants to prioritize the country's own people, given the mass immigration.
Mm.
I can see where he's coming from with
Sad thing,
that, but it is a bit of a stretch.
Poland was a very right-wing conservative government, right? And then they got overthrown by the leftists. Who won? It was the left that won Poland, didn't they?
Yeah, I think.
That is a lot. That's a load of shit. They rigged that. Poland actually did what was right. Polish people are right wing conservative. There's no way in heck they did that legit. They clearly rigged it.
Oh,
Partly they rigged the Spain election as well.
Spain as well. How many are
Have
these
you
going on?
seen the protests in Spain? They're partly protesting the fact that literally a rigged election. We do it for the past thing. It's just media's not giving it coverage. Quite honestly, because it makes them because they don't want to give it coverage.
Of course they wouldn't.
Of course they wouldn't. I think the defense industry is going to make a massive amount of money this year. I think the oil company is going to make some money as well.
Yeah.
I think real estate. I think the UK real estate, the UK construction companies are undervalued right now. People think right now people are struggling to pay rent right now, but what if we lower when rates get better and we lower the mortgage? That's going to flip and make so much people be able to make that. More and more people that couldn't afford that bracket can. Ooh. Okay. Okay, let's read the chapter. People think that media is there to entertain the masses. It's not. Its main purpose is to slowly manipulate the people to favour things that are against their own self interests. It has multiple purposes. The first purpose is to shape the mind of the people, to make the people docile and weak. A weak population will not resist the slave programming. I would make a good quote. So what else? So tell me what's going on in Argentina.
So, Javier has
Our boy
won the election.
Javier Malay has won.
Yes. And now there's a video going on where it's saying this ministry out, this ministry out, this ministry out. So he's like doing a
Out.
massive overhaul of the Argentine government,
You,
and people on
he
the left
got
are going
elected.
crazy over it.
He apparently has. He is apparently a WEF member, though. My
Yeah, of
question
course.
is with that though, did he actually win or did they instill him?
This is a question I thought about this recently, both from
If they
Argentina and
were real,
Netherlands.
if they were really scared of him, they would eliminate him.
Yeah,
Let's be real here.
fair
He's no
enough.
threat to them. They would
Yeah,
eliminate him. These
and
people are not above killing people. Who knows? Maybe they've got a plan. Apparently, he wants to deregulate the organ industry, which I'm not 100% sure that's a good thing.
and actually, and seeing the rise of the right in government around the world is at such a precedent rate is actually quite concerning, really, because why would it be that much of a rise in right wing politics in governments around the world? You know something's up, like there's
Something's up.
something behind
Something is
something.
coming.
Yeah,
I've heard rumors that apparently they're going to be there's a massive EU land grab coming soon.
yeah.
Thank God we left. And by land grab, I mean they're going to basically render sovereignty obsolete. I don't think I can see the U. I don't think that Britain will ever become a non-sovereign country. Why would they when they've got a royal family and they would like to be sovereign, have their own sovereignty? But maybe, I know how corrupt Charles is. The fact that he's a Freemason. How do you think you? So how do you think you become a Freemason?
That is a very good question.
Are you one? Even if you were one, I doubt you'd be able to say.
Exactly. Even if I was one,
You wouldn't be able to say.
exactly, because they are very threatening.
They really are. I
But I
feel like
mean, at
you'd be
this,
an.
I'd have
I
nothing to
feel like
lose,
out of
so
all the organizations, I think the Freemasons would probably be the nicest out of them all. I'm not 100% sure I'd like to join Skull and Bones. The organization apparently makes you have to jizz in a cat, be jizzed on but in a casket. Why don't we dive into Bohemian Grove?
the Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
Ah, yes.
The rich club for all the elite. Every year, a select few, the few former presidents, billionaires, CEOs, they
A
all
big
meet.
club, and you're not in it.
Yeah, I've started to realize that literally all these companies that are public, right?
Yeah.
If they've got fuck all retail shareholders, they don't put up the app. They don't even go to a fucking online call. They don't even do like a call for everybody. Some companies in that they actually play the part, right? But some of them they just don't play the part. They just keep their shareholder calls in private circles. They don't allow you to actually view. They make it extremely hard to view shareholder earnings calls. Like companies that are fully done with I'm starting. The earnings calls, right? But with companies, right? I'm starting to
Yeah.
think that and this might be a little bit crazy, but I'm starting to think that these calls, right? They're just for the public.
Yeah.
All the big shareholders know everything that's going on. They get a fucking front row seat. They get a fucking interview. And they got a bunch of pitsy analysts that ask them dainty little questions. And it's all a rehearsed little show.
And don't get me started on the Senate in the US.
Let's do that then. Let's dive into it.
All right then.
Let's dive into it. So
Okay.
what's up with the Senate?
Well, apparently, do you know how much money that the average U.S. senator has in net worth?
Tens of millions,
Tens of billions.
billions.
Yes, billions.
Not just a public or private wealth.
Well, not sure, but given how good they quote time the market and know exactly what's going on, they have an immense amount of wealth. It cannot be argued, honestly.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, if they were to ban, let's say, ban insider trading, if they ever do that, I am going to be concerned. What is coming and what is happening? Because if they ban that, then that should be the sign that you realize something bad's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a totalitarian thing. What do you think of voter ID, digital ID, voter ID? Do you think that should be mandatory in future elections? To me, I just feel it's a slippery slope and it leads to fucking digital at CBDCs.
Yeah, and also, who knows who's in charge of the technology that goes into it? They could use it for their own purposes. They can just restrict whoever they
What I
like
want, yeah,
if the technology goes that far.
what I want to know is why are we not using cryptocurrency for crypto? Why are we not using the blockchain for elections?
They know if they use the blockchain, which is a public record, they would be caught out immediately. If they're caught out immediately, there goes the plan. There goes their grip on power.
How do you think you join the very elite?
Well,
Been been
I think I
questioning
think
about it.
I think it's all wealth based. You either have to become from a rich family or you become rich yourself.
I don't mind joining them. I despise humanity. As long as I don't have to suck a soul.
Yeah,
Hmm.
fubbly jubbly.
Yep.
Yay.
Humanity's doomed anyway. The public don't even see what's going on. What's the point in trying to save them?
Exactly.
They're ignorant.
And they'll never know unless it's too late.
We may as well just join them.
Yeah. Tell them what really goes on. They can just take it or leave it. If they leave it, okay. Well, it's nice knowing you guys. I'll see you never.
Pfizer, the COVID jab is. They're apparently going to try and do another lockdown for the elections. This time we have platforms like Rumble and X. X still censors me to an extent. I still think X shadow bans my posts. Right? I did a post, right? It said retry, retry, retry. That's my chance. Every time I see that, hear that, right? I know that my post has been shadow banned. Every time. Or it's been limited. I know it too well.
Hmm.
At least they're not banning me.
Yeah,
Could be worse.
could be much worse.
The
Yeah.
new, yes, they're planning on doing. They're planning to do a new lockdown. They're going to do it. Use it as a way to disrupt the election. I hope the public and the masses stand up and say no. Fuck you. Piss off. I hope they stand up.
Bugger.
You know about the January 6th tapes, right?
The
The
January
tape.
what?
You remember the January 6th tapes, right? They apparently released evidence that
Oh
makes.
yeah, January 6th.
They apparently made new tape. They apparently released tape, all the footage, right? But apparently shows the fact that they were walking in, that they're being escorted, and basically it disproves their whole thing about a riot, right? Conveniently, a bunch of bullshit goes on, and the mass media and the public have forgotten about it already. And the media is not going to do anything. They're going to. Why else do you think there are a bunch of like freaking? Why else do you think there are a bunch of like arrests for pedophiles? They did that as a way to distract.
Hmm.
I doubt. I think they're going to try and rig the 2024 election again.
Yeah, even if Donald Trump is the favorite according to the
I also feel
bookies.
like they're trying to call for his death as well. Sadly,
Uh,
media.
are we even surprised at this point?
Nigel Farage could make a good. Could be the next our version of Trump. Could try and become prime minister of the UK.
Yeah,
He's doing interestingly well with the public on I'm a Celebrity. Maybe he's able to convince the dullards, but maybe that he might be a good candidate, a better option than Stormer.
yeah. I mean, it'll be a stretch given the division and inequality of political power, but it'll be interesting. It'll be something quite to behold.
All it takes is a bunch of all it'll take is a bunch of conservative defectors. People, all it takes is about his UKIP. If he can get his UKIP guys, UKIP and a bunch of conservative defectors, I think Suella Braverman hates Sunak as much as any other bastard. Maybe she would be willing to freaking side with UKIP and create a new party. UKIP was the party that wanted to vote all the foreigners out of this country, wasn't it?
Yeah, the anti-immigration party.
Wait, that wasn't Farage, was it?
Uh, actually, Nigel Farage actually formed UKIP, from what I remember.
But he left it.
Yeah, he left it though. Yeah.
Why did he leave it though? Did he just become disillusioned, or just thought it was a sinking ship?
Not sure. It's just when it takes things its own way.
Hmm. Nissan to deliver a boost for Sunderland after government EV talks. How much money is that going to cost the taxman, though? Taxpayer. And how much is that going to cost us? Because let's be real here. And also, is Nissan even going to still be around then? Nissan tends to have a shitload of debt. And they're not exactly big in the EV game, are they?
No.
Uh, what else is there? Let's check X. These are desperately trying to kill this platinum by any means possible. Also, I'm glad to be betting on Rumble. Border blast: 100 mile per hour car explodes on Canada-US Rainbow Bridge.
Oh,
What is the 23 Enigma?
I've no idea. Never heard of it.
What is the word occult mean?
The Wordle cult.
Occult.
Well, a cult is a group of people with strong beliefs. They stick to it, and they worship quotation marks towards an individual, or at least worship some kind of value religiously ish. That's what a cult is.
The Bilderbergs are the richest people on the planet who use their money and power to shape the world. The true story of the Bilderberg group peeks behind the curtain at the man pulling the levers, who tried to kill Estulin for writing this book. Bilderberg this book might be interesting. They have
Yeah.
supposedly killed the bloke, tried to kill this bloke. Do you think religion is real, or do you think that they lied, or do you think it was made up and created by the Romans and the Persians? Apparently, if you look further enough back, it was created by the Christianity was created by the Rome. You could make the case that Christianity was created by the Romans, and for Judaism, you could make the case that the Persians, not Persians, but maybe the Persians created Judaism. The Javier Malay effect continues to grow. Argentina's sovereign bonds soars, countries' risk falls. Amazon, Tesla, and Starlink report that they could arrive in Argentina by 2024. To be fair, Elon does like Javier Malay, and
Yeah,
he's like said good things about him. So
that's something.
Argentina. Confessions from a Freemason. Will you help mortgage defaulters out? Malai did something. Someone put a gun to their head to take out that mortgage. State could help. Malai, who pays for that help? The state. Malai, how does the state pay? By spending money and creating more. People believe that Marina's the tip of the iceberg.
Oh,
There wasn't just one Jack the Ripper, but a network of Masons covering up a royal family scandal involving prostitutes and satanic ritual murders. Do you believe that?
I'm not
Jack,
sure.
knowing how corrupt and evil royal families can be and royalty can be, makes a case. Do you think stop murdering turkeys for your racist fake holiday? Do you think this is something Alexandria Ocasio Cortez could write? Would write?
Yeah, I think she would write something in relations to that. She is a textbook case for what is the left is. That's how I see it, because she's all for, I don't know. I can't comprehend properly, but that's exactly the point. Dang. Bleh. And oh,
You
you
hear?
back?
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
here.
I'm still there.
Yeah, apparently
Ah,
Nigel Farage might be hitting a run for the head of the Tory party someday.
wait, what?
Really? Honestly, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. What's wrong with the Tories? The Tories are great. I'd much rather have the Tories than fucking Stormer and his wet blanket ass. He's flip flopped on every issue. I hate both of them, but fuck, I had to, at least he doesn't want to fucking put us into fucking dependent on the likes of Russia. We kind of need someone like Nigel right now. Country isn't doing best, is it? Doing the
Hmm.
best, is it? Why is
Yeah.
that? Illegal immigration. Found one. Who doesn't like foreigners unless they're in Spurs shirts? Why do people hate Nigel Farage?
Well, he's well. Firstly, he says things that a majority that consumes you know what
The
media,
propaganda.
they've yeah, it seems problematic in their opinions, and for that reason, they just want him to take no one to take him down
Why is
because
nobody defend? Why is nobody giving the positives of leaving the EU? They're only giving the negatives. I'll list a couple
again, it's the opinions.
of the fake news. I'll give my opinion. I think we did the best fucking thing we could of the UK leaving the fucking European Union. When we were in the EU, we couldn't make our own laws. We were dependent on the EU state. We were getting fucking shafted because we're paying most of the fucking budgets. We're getting fuck all return and basically supporting little tiny countries. Not to mention we were kind of spending money more. We were not really getting rewarded for this said efforts. Not to mention, let's be real here, it was kind of becoming into like an unelected bureaucratic state. Do you think the EU is going to turn out into something more like, the United States, where basically it's that basically all the other countries in the EU basically become a part of the EU, and the EU is a country, and all these countries are basically just states. and they have no real power. And they basically only have unelected officials, and they basically just send their representatives to the freaking Brussels.
Possibly.
Welcome. In your real world, history is a lie, religion is a control system, money is a hoax, debt is fiction, media is manipulation, government is a corporation, the system is corrupt, you are a commodity, you are a slave. It's not exactly a bad thought, it's true. Interesting that Kimball Musk is giving recipes for food. Okay, so what else is there?
It's so sad how people view most women these days. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What?
I'm talking about this this female football player from the United States.
What do you mean this? Oh yeah, her.
Yeah, Megan Rapinoe, I think.
What you mean the one
If it's
that
not,
basically made herself look like an utter fool?
yeah. It's not just the things she says, it's her as a person as well that really rubs people the wrong way. It's so sad that that's how it came to be. On our final day, on our final match in her career, when it all went downhill for her, everyone is saying she's got what she deserved after all the years that she has said and done throughout her career.
Hmm. Oh, why have they got a picture of of Eric Solwell in a fucking mankini? Ooh,
What?
yeah.
I
What
don't
is
even
that,
want to know what it looks like.
Benny? Why would you put that in my feed, bro? Like, fuck. This is
Oh,
the guy that apparently banged a Chinese spy. Fang Fang, the Chinese spy. You heard of Eric
yeah, but
Solwell, right?
unfortunately, no, I have not heard of him.
He's the guy that apparently banged a Chinese spy, and he's a
Ah,
guy in
yes.
government.
Okay.
He got done by the Chinese honeypot. Fang Fang. Fang Fang. Tells me Eric Solwell has no balls. Can someone confirm with Fang Fang?
Dang. Well, no more Clyde.
Who's Clyde?
I think we discussed him in the last season finale. You know, Clyde's that Discord bot that snooping in on your DMs with you and Faithy.
Who was?
Clyde, the Discord AI bot, who sent that message where you were talking to Faithy.
Yeah.
It was controversial at the time.
Yeah, it's something that they added. Basically, as soon as you don't like sleep, you don't. Yeah, if you're not on call for a certain amount of time, uh, yeah, basically they'll kick you. Basically, they'll kick you out of a call. Yeah,
Yeah, that Clyde.
if they're doing that, it makes me think that they're recording calls. But to be fair, I'm not surprised. I think they probably are. That's the truth. They do for everything. Why is the far right gaining so much motion?
That's what I just said. It's very concerning that the right is on the rise such a rapid rate.
Maybe they're trying
It's
to
like they want a
convince the people.
reaction
They're
out of
trying to
us,
convince the
and
people
it's
that they're
working.
trying to convince the people that that they have a chance when really they.
It's all controlled.
It's all control and it's all
It's all
manipulation.
part of the game, and you're playing it.
They want to break you.
Don't play the game.
They want to make you feel like you actually have control. They want to make you feel like you
I'm so
actually have hope.
chaotic.
And then when it all comes down, they are going to destroy you. One. I don't know when they're going to do it. The FBI just confirmed Pizzagate. Basically, the code that they use, the code word for pizza, it means a pedophile case, right? Clinton Hayden, who worked at Texas A&M, was arrested on child pornography charges earlier this month, and the FBI reported he used the pedophile code word pizza in chats to discuss child porn. Hardin is facing charges of receiving possession child pornography and was arrested by the FBI at his home in College Station on November 11th. So basically, this just proves that this is basically them proving to the public that partly thought that was a hoax. It was fake. The FBI referenced the words and basically confirmed that it is used as a way to discuss.
Yes.
They admitted it. Even though the Republicans have been saying that for years. It's true.
But no one is still not listening. And that's scary.
Ever heard of the Fuel Society?
The fuel.
The Fuel Society was primarily a German Illuminati group prior to WW2. They recruited German leaders like Hitler, who they placed in charge of their Nazi party. Saturn was an important god to them, so they lodges met on Saturday. Do you know about the arbitrage? I wish I knew. Wait, no, scam. What else is there?
Let's say here.
What happened on the 1307?
1307 of the Alone Show.
No, 13th on the year 1307 on October 13th. Is that when the Great Depression happened?
No, the Great Depression was the 1930s in the United States. I think 1307, I think it's the Black
Oh
Plague.
no. At the dawn on Friday, October 1307, scores of French Knights Templars were simultaneously arrested by agents of King Philip, later to be tortured in locations such as the Tower at Chinon, and admitted heresy, other sacrilegious offences in the order. Then they were put to death. Basically, for Friday the 13th has a secret meaning. Basically, the destruction of the Knights Templar.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that up
People always
right
think it's
now.
legit. Yeah, that doesn't get talked about. That the fact that that is mentioned and what the Friday. What do you think the public think Friday the 13th is?
Something about bad luck.
Yeah, when really it's just the fall of the Knights Templar.
Ah.
Nobody know the Rosicrucians. Their society worship gold. Skull and Bones. Their society controls half the the American Congress. The Illuminati apparently started in Germany, and then they got freaking done, and they got arrested, and they moved all the way. They escaped to America and helped found America with the Freemasons, or remaining Knights Templar that became Freemasons. Basically, were former Knights Templar people. Knights Templar. It's a cure to know exactly how the world works, how evil operates, how people are constantly being betrayed and lied to, and how many have to suffer for the benefit of a few ultra rich and evildoers. It's a curse because most are blind to reality and attack those who try to help. How do you pass your knowledge on to your kids without turning them into targets for the school system or without making them forever depressed? Asking for a friend. Good question. For silver lining known as how awful the world can be, is this terrible knowledge enables authentic appreciation of what's beautiful, music, literature, and art, but the math and science. We have a curse. Is knowing how the world works a curse? Knowing that you want to spread and teach people what the world truly is like, but none of them listening, all of them thinking, you're just a conspiracy theorist, you're crazy.
A
Knowing how the
loony
world
bin.
works. We knowing the fact that as much as you try, none of them will truly believe you. It's a curse, a blessing, and a curse. Knowing hindsight and what's truly coming, knowing how to dictate what they're when they're lying to you and when they're not lying to you, knowing what to do, what to not to do, and what to do, knowing when they're going to attack and knowing what when they're not going to attack, being able to predict things that happen before they happen. Play a long game, plant seeds like the sower. So how did you express what you know? Expose it.
Well, I remember it was August 2022.
You told
Th
me
there was this bald guy
Andrew
living
Tate.
in Romania.
He woke us
Yes,
up.
yes.
Woke us the fuck up.
He was in a lot of heated cases legally. I was like,
This is
how?
bullshit. The-
It what he's been through is one of the most mind-bogglings I've ever seen in my life.
yet they
Yes, even if it sounds bad,
yet they're told to hate him.
where's the evidence?
There's no evidence. Yet they're told to hate him. They're told to hate Orange Man bad when there's no evidence that Trump's evil. There's evidence. There's fucking blatant evidence, paltry and blatant evidence that Biden's a crook. There's evidence. I've yet to see evidence that actually is actual evidence and not literally just a bunch of listings of somewhat minor charges. Oh, he filed his tax return wrong. Is that really a crime?
It's an honest
Oh,
mistake.
oh, he miscount a statement. Is that wrong? From something that happened, like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Don't you think it was kind of fucked that the fact he made Trump have to fucking talk about having doing hanky panky with some type of fucking loose weird woman? I laughed my arse off when I heard that one. It's good to know that there are some Obama judges that basically said this is fucking wrong, this is unconstitutional. Just tell them it's normal for the kids to get blood clots and strokes. Are they go? They're going after Republicans. I just had about 20 sheriffs surround my house and call me out with my hands up. I had shotguns and AR-15s and pistols pointed at me. They had a report I was holding my child hostage at gunpoint. They searched my house and questioned my kid. Holy fuck, I'm still shaking. What else? What is adrenochrome? That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Still have no idea.
The kid, they apparently use it to the elite. So who is the people that are sex trafficking all these kids?
Uh, isn't it obvious, or is there another answer to that?
Well, it's obvious it's the elite, but did you know that the government's actually involved in the sex trafficking of kids?
Oh, how so?
So apparently, what was his name again? McAfee, John McAfee, right?
John McAfee.
Yeah, he apparently sent a bunch of laptops to a bunch of people in the government, right? He found out a bunch of these people had, let's say a bunch of these people were very high up in the sex trafficking world. He realized that basically there's a guy that was a guy that in the White House that basically was the guy for trafficking children. And then there's a guy that basically ran a cartel for that. But there was a guy that did all the drugs, basically helped sell and drugs in the Congo. Was a major exporter for drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is done by the U.S. government. People think it's just like tiny things. It's actually done majorly by the government. Do you think Rumble would be big?
I mean, it's not going to compete with the likes of TikTok, Instagram, or Reels, but I am certain that it will
You don't
be a
think
reputable
Rumble will be able
platform.
to compete, you don't think Rumble will be able to compete with these guys?
I mean, it's got a long way to go in terms of
It's getting
viewership,
better.
and
It's getting better.
yeah,
And
the quality is there. It's the quantity that's in the way, kind of.
all they've got to do, if it comes down to it, they can always partner with a bigger firm like Twitter. I'm sure Twitter, they've got big firms like UFC. I think Rumble's an interesting company. I'm glad to be a part of it, part of the journey. I think it'll be an interesting one. Q.
What do you mean, Q?
Seems to be porn star of AI. Joke only accessible to French speakers. I will be in AGO only day. A model can laugh at this. There's apparently some of this mystery guy called Q in OpenAI, right? But Q is the guy that what was it again? That QAnon the people that worship QAnon worship Q.
I'm not sure.
Interesting. Do you think the Nazis won?
Which one?
What are you saying?
Which one?
You mean what do you mean which one?
Which of the Nazis won?
Ah, so you're on the assumption that they were all Nazis. I totally agree.
Possibly, yeah.
Well, it's very known that the British royals back then were heavily in favour of Hitler back then. They just didn't want to publicly admit it because they were trying to play both sides. Maybe not all of them, but there were some British royals that were Nazi sympathisers. The former king apparently was a Nazi sympathiser from Britain. The one before Elizabeth's father. When do you think it will happen?
What will happen?
What we know will happen. The end date, 2030, where they remove us all.
Oh yeah, that year. I think it will be monumental.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream alternative media's latest hero, Israel's worshipping great welder, Geert Wilder, in the Netherlands, following Israel's worshipping Javier Milei in Argentina. Then there's Israel's worshipping Trump. In the US, anyone see a pattern here? The mainstream alternative media equals right wing politics. The real alternative is something very different. Ah, Javier Milei is a Israel loving prime minister. Great Wilders is an Israel loving prime minister. Donald Trump is an Israel loving president. Doesn't look like we're going to get any. Doesn't look like we're going to get any. What do you think the real alternative to the right is? And I mean people that do not worship Israel. Because I don't think we're going to get that.
Well, in terms of levels of government, there's the liberating right, and then there's the authoritarian right.
Do any of them worship Israel?
It depends on how they have opinions on Israel. Do they like it? Do they love Israel because it's more authoritarian, or do they like Israel because they are liberal or liberating?
There's nothing liberating about Israel.
I know, but the point is, why do people like Israel to begin with? If you know
Because the
why
puppet,
people like Israel,
because these people are controlled and bought by Israel. Israel has bought Israel. People say, "Oh, China has long and bought all our congressmen," right? That's a fucking lie. Israel has got a massive control on our on American Congress. And Britain has a heavy control in Israel. So Britain controls Israel. Israel controls America. America controls the rest of the world. See? Britain controls Israel. Israel controls America. America controls the free world. So UK controls it. UK is the country that controls everything, all the countries. Well, at least all the financial, at least basically all the money to control these people. Do you think it would be smart to make the case that Britain still controls the world? Just in secret.
Well, yeah. Because of course you have the City of London Corporation
Yeah.
where they have the moolah in case, what falls down and they need support to get back up again.
We had to make Britain. We had to give up our wealth for more power. The UK had to look weak and tiny and pathetic, to the point where we look like we're just a country that has no power. Really, we control the strings of everything. We long bought and controlled all the American politicians. We long bought and took over most of the country. Basically, Britain, a long time ago, right, realized we don't need. Why do we own these countries? Why do we have these countries? Why do we rule all these countries ourselves? Why can't we just put a patsy in charge and control everything from the sidelines, in the shadows? We don't need to be a biggest empire. We need to be like Greenland and the Vatican, tiny, obscure, that nobody pays us a teat of mind. We need to be opaque. There's a reason why the pound. Who's the biggest people that owns the British pound, the American dollar?
Ooh. I never thought about who owns a currency.
Who owns the most amount of debt? Countries that own the
Oh,
most amount of debt are the ones that control the country. You control a country's
yeah.
debt, you control a country. China's got control of the country, but who owns most of China's debt?
Well, if China owns portions of other countries' debt, wouldn't that mean China technically has the money to cover its own?
So let's look. Who owns China's debt? All of China's debt? Most of China's debt? Nobody ever thinks about who owns the country's debt. How China became the world's largest debt collector. 2.5 billion in debt or something like that.
Oh, okay. I mean, not surprising, honestly. How it is shocking that it is a lot of money.
That's nothing compared to fucking America.
Exactly. It's not that surprising.
Yeah, we're practically fucking debt free.
Yeah.
1.9 trillion.
Yowza.
That's not a lot. It's nothing. That's still payable.
But for the average person? I don't think so. Country, yes, but not for an individual person.
Yeah, not for an individual person.
Well, that's more than enough for the finale.
Yeah, let's end it here.